All right, welcome. We're about to pull back the curtain on probably the single most important invention of our time, the internet.
I mean, think about it. You're using it this very second. But do you really know how it all works? What's happening behind the screen when you click something? How does a whole world of information just appear in milliseconds? Well, that's what we're going to find out.
So, in the next 5 minutes, we're going to go on this wild journey. We'll follow a single click from your finger, trace its physical path across the entire globe, see how it works on your phone, figure out how to keep it all private, and then, finally, uncover where all this data actually lives.
Okay, let's start at square one, the absolute basics. What is actually going on in that split second after you type in a website and slam that enter key?
Well, the first thing you gotta know is that computers don't speak English, or any human language for that matter. They speak in numbers. So when you type in google.com, your computer has no idea what that means. It has to look it up in this giant global address book called the Domain Name System, or DNS. The DNS is the thing that translates that name into the website's unique numeric address, its IP address. That's the only language the computer actually gets.
So the sequence is pretty straightforward. You type the name, DNS finds the number, and your internet service provider, your ISP, sends out the request. But here's where it gets really clever. The server on the other end doesn't just send the whole website back in one giant file. No way. It shatters it into thousands of tiny little pieces called packets. It's kind of like sending a massive puzzle through the mail one piece at a time. Your browser's job is to catch all those pieces and put them back together in the right order.
So look, if you only remember one thing from this section, make it this. DNS is the phone book for the entire internet. It's as simple as that. But wait, that request, it doesn't just float around in some digital cloud, right? No, it travels along a very real, very physical path. We're talking wires, massive cables, and pure light. So the journey starts with what the industry calls the last mile. That's the connection from the main network right to your house. This could be crazy fast fiber optic cable, which literally sends data as pulses of light through glass. Or, it might be the same cable line your TV uses, or even your old telephone lines. Okay, so from your router, your little request travels that last mile and connects to your provider. And that's where it merges onto the global internet backbone. This thing is the real superhighway, a mind-boggling network of fiber optic cables. And get this, many of them run for thousands of miles along the ocean floor, connecting entire continents at pretty much the speed of light. It's wild.
All right, that's great for when you're plugged in at home, but what about when you cut the cord? How does any of this work when you're on your phone with absolutely no wires in sight?
Well, your phone is basically just a really, really smart two-way radio. It sends a signal to the closest cell tower, and that tower is physically wired into the internet. But the truly amazing part, the magic trick, happens when you're moving. Your phone is constantly performing what's called a handover, and it seamlessly switches your connection from one tower to the next without you ever even noticing a hiccup in your video.
Yeah, a great way to think about it is like a relay race. Imagine you're driving down the highway, streaming something. Your phone is in this constant, super high-speed race, passing your data connection from tower to tower, just like a runner passes a baton. It's incredible.
So with all this data flying around from your house, from your phone, it can feel a little exposed, right? I mean, it's out there. So how do you protect it? Well, this brings us to the idea of building your own private digital tunnel. This is where a VPN, a virtual private network, comes in. Think of it as your personal security guard for the internet. It does two really important things. One, it encrypts or scrambles all your data so it's unreadable. And two, it hides your real IP address, which basically makes you anonymous online. And trust me, the difference is like night and day. Without a VPN, your internet provider can see every single site you visit. And if you're on public Wi-Fi, like at a coffee shop, your data is basically a sitting duck. But when you flip on a VPN, all of that traffic gets scrambled and your location is hidden. It's really a fundamental layer of safety for being online today. Here's the best analogy. Imagine the internet is a huge, crowded public square. Using a VPN is like building your own private, totally blacked out tunnel right through the middle of it. You can walk through and nobody on the outside can see who you are or where you're going. Okay, for our final stop on this tour, let's tackle one of the biggest buzzwords out there, the cloud. What is this thing? Where is this magical place everyone's talking about? So here's the big secret. The cloud isn't up in the sky at all. It's on the ground. It's inside these massive windowless buildings called data centers, and they are packed with tens of thousands of super powerful computers. So when you stream a movie on Netflix or open a Google Doc, all you're doing is sending a request over the internet to one of those computers in one of those buildings. And we use the cloud in a few different ways. Most of us use it for software, right? Like Netflix or Google Docs. But the cloud is also what allows companies to just rent enormous amounts of computing power instead of having to buy and maintain their own expensive servers. It's completely changed how the digital world gets built. So really, when you boil it all down, the cloud is just a simpler way of saying someone else's computer. It's like you're renting a super secure storage unit in a giant warehouse for all your digital stuff, and you can access it from anywhere in the world.
And there you have it. That's the whole journey in a nutshell. From a simple DNS lookup, a phone book for the internet, across those very real physical undersea cables, through cell towers and their amazing handover trick, protected by private VPN tunnels, all the way to a physical data center that we call the cloud. That is the entire incredible journey of a single click.
See? The internet isn't magic. It's a massive, incredible machine built by people, and it runs on a clear set of rules. And now that you know how it works, that just leaves one question, right? What are you going to do with it?